This is Cat,
And this is Saskia,
and this is Note to Self.
your weekly dose of everything that's just simply too long to text. Alrighty.
All right.
I would love to do like a little edit of just how we start every episode. And is it every episode just going, all right?
There should just be like the outtakes of us being
Yeah. Prior to this, it's just us clearing our throats like 10,000 times.
Yeah, so welcome back.
Yeah.
We
hi.
are doing our best to not let the allergies get the best of us because we both
Dude.
came in clearing our throats like frogs.
New York allergy season, for those who live here, no, but for those who don't, this season's bad.
Hay fever for Australians.
Hay fever, right? It is probably the worst I've ever had it. I came out this morning and there was just pollen everywhere.
This is why I'm an inside cat. It's nice
Yeah,
to look at
dude,
from afar.
I was inside this whole week. I thought I was sick. My allergies were so bad. And then I was like, oh, it's just allergies. Didn't work out at all. I couldn't do it. It made me too tired.
This is why I don't like going for picnics. I think picnics are overrated.
I love picnics. Little picnic, boozy picnic in the park.
No, think about the legit. Okay, now we're really diving in. I'm about to go on a tangent.
Okay, go right ahead.
Picnics are overrated.
Okay.
The amount of shit that you have to bring and plan for. You're in the middle of a field. You are not close to a bathroom.
That is true. The bathroom situation's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we did a little picnic, I don't know, a few weeks ago at McCarran Park, which is in Williamsburg in Brooklyn. And this park, I'm sorry, but like it's no Fort Greene, which is the park near my apartment. Fort Greene is like the most magical park. They
it
must
is.
pay the people who look after that park a lot because that place is gorgeous. McCarran is we just were sitting on dirt. I was like, why are we here? It's just it's a dirt park.
Fuck, that's where I'm about to move to.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, sorry. The park's kind of foul, I have to say. They do not look after that
It's
grass.
the Temu.com park of Brooklyn.
It truly
Everyone's
is.
just like, ugh.
Wait, but we did this like last minute picnic and I arrive and I like bring out this little charcuterie plate essentially. I have this like bento box Tupperware and I had like, so it's like every layer is just another thing. So the first one I pull out, it's like olives, pickles, some like fig paste. I have all these little like cutlery things that I'd bought in Brazil. And then the next layer is dip and then some like dolmades. And then the bottom layer was like all cut up veggies. And then I brought out homemade banana bread. Everyone was like, how the fuck did you make this? I was like, I just had it all in the fridge.
No.
It brings me so much joy being able to do that. Like, that's why I like a picnic. I'm like, oh, here we go, everyone. It's like my inner housewife comes out.
The trad wife?
My inner trad wife. I know. I hate the
No.
trad wife trend, but then sometimes I'm like, oh my God, do I
Because
like
it's
the
a
trad wife?
tangible... Yes, go. Yeah. It's a tangible outcome.
It is. Like, this morning, it's my biggest joy on a Saturday morning to go to the markets, the Fort Greene markets, picking all my vegetables. It's like there's so much joy. Meanwhile, my partner just like stands there holding all the bags. I'm like, come over here. Why were you not standing close to me? I need you to put this in the bag.
He's the bag man.
He's truly
He's
the
either
bag
like
man.
your emotional support dog or the bag man.
He has one job, which is to get the apples. I allow him to pick the apples.
He's probably standing there like, don't fuck this up. Do not fuck this up. It's like that Simpsons episode of... You didn't watch The Simpsons, did you?
Mom didn't let us when we were kids.
Well, neither, but I still did it.
Of course you did.
Still did
I've
it.
seen like random episodes.
You know
but-
when Mr. Burns is in the supermarket and he's like, ketchup? Catsup. Ketchup? Okay, good chat.
Yeah.
Good chat.
I don't know that episode.
I just
at
imagine
all.
Jeffrey holding two of the very exact same apples, being like, and just spiraling and getting himself into a mental pretzel. He's like, fuck.
What apple? Which one? Just buys all the apples.
Yeah, just one of
We'll
each.
take the
One of
lot.
each.
Wait, I just did another Harry Potter reference. I ended the last episode on a Harry Potter reference, guys. It's just, what can you do? It's too great a show, book. Oh, please, it's
Movie?
a book. It's going to be a show. HBO's turning it into a show. Have you read that,
HBO is back to HBO Max, by the way.
dude? That journey is too
whiplash.
much. I know. I've seen so many good memes on it though. That's just like the changes in all the names and like no one having any idea.
No. But I want to just circle back to your bento
Right.
box. Is this the one that you travel with?
Yeah, babe. Travel hack.
Is it a fisherman's box?
What? No. No, that would be a good idea.
That is.
It's like a huge one. Though.
Yes. When you told me about the tiers, I was like, is this actually like a fisherman's?
No, search
fisher
like
person's
bento Tupperware container. So this is my travel hack. Well, I've got a few. I'm always trying to beat jet lag, right? Plain food is not good. I was once told that they put like stuff in the food on planes that stops you from going to the bathroom. I have never been able to verify this, but I feel like it makes sense because ever since I've stopped eating plain food, I'm like fine when I get off the plane. I feel like usually I'd be like TMI, but backed up for days.
Oh, we've spoken about
I feel like
many
everyone
other
is.
things
Yeah.
on this podcast that are a lot worse
Here
than
we are.
bowel movements. Let's just say it.
So I started bringing my own little snack things. So I make like sandwiches. I literally do like a charcuterie board as well for the plane. But now my new thing is I fast because I read that if you can fast on a plane, it helps you get over jet lag. So I've been doing that. And I mean, I don't know. I'm always jet lagged.
I don't know, because when we were in Australia together and you were testing this hypothesis, is it hypothesis?
It
theory?
worked on the way from here to Australia.
It's so much better traveling from here, from New York to
Australia. Mm-hmm. Going that way, for people that have not gone to Australia, we're obviously both from there, so we go back there a lot. It is astonishing how much better your jet lag is because you're waking up really early. You're getting up at 5 a.m. Mm-hmm. And like in Australia, everyone's up at 5:30. It's like the busiest time of the day. You're getting coffee, you're working out. Like there's so much happening. And so you're getting up early and you're working out. You're feeling good. You're going for a swim. Like immediately your jet lag is cured. And then you come back here. You're awake till like fucking 2 a.m. The best hours of sleep you get are 7 a.m. to like 10, 11.
Oh, and
You're
it's
like
such
4.
a deep REM too. Like you are one with the mattress.
Trying to get up when you come back from Australia to New York or anywhere in the US really, that is one of the hardest things I've had to do.
What, in your life?
Bit dramatic. But you know that feeling of like, I must wake up and you cannot open your eyes. For a good solid 2 weeks, I'm starting work at 11 a.m. those 2 weeks.
I
can't.
But it does take 2 weeks for the jet lag. This is such a tangent from a bento box. All this to say, I have not been graced with your presence of having a bento box. I will go on one picnic. One.
Yes. Okay.
One.
To Fort Greene Park, it'll be beautiful.
Yes, I will do that.
I don't know about the bathroom situation there though.
But this is the thing. Then I get pee anxiety because the more that I know that I'm not near a bathroom, the more I need to pee. And it's just like,
They do have some there. Also, my apartment's not that far, so you could go there.
why don't we just... You have a backyard. Why are we not using this? Wait.
I don't do anything with the backyard. I've lived there for 3 years, and this backyard has like all the furniture you would need, and the garden beds are just weeds. I planted one rose bush, and bush is a strong word. It's like a one stem, and it's just like half falling over. I didn't dig the hole deep enough, so it's just kind of raised out of the ground. It's somehow still alive, and I never water it.
What is it?
A rose plant.
This makes so much sense that you use the Rosebud cheat code for The Sims, and that's the only thing that's surviving in your backyard. I don't know why this didn't click. I completely forgot that you have, if you're not from New York and you have an outdoor space, that is a rarity.
I think I've been out there, I could count on like both hands, and I've lived there for nearly three years. The amount of times I've been out there.
And one of them was the housewarming 3 years ago.
I do a housewarming. I do a house party usually every year. I didn't do it this year. I'm debating, do I pay like a landscaper? Is that like the most insane thing in the world? Like I'd pay a landscaper and everything would die within a month.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't water it.
I think maybe just get Jeffrey after he's picked the apples.
Yeah, get him out there.
Yeah.
To be fair, I did get him to start weeding the garden when it was actually really funny. This one summer we didn't do anything, and we came out there and the weeds were like this high. It was so bad.
This high being taller than you, which is like
I'm
5'10"?
5'6", and I
Are you 5'6"?
5'10".
What? Oh, I'm
How
thinking of
tall
the clogs.
do you think I am?
Oh yeah, with the clogs. Thinking of you and the clogs.
Once I add those fucking 4 inches on, I could practically play basketball.
Okay, so the weeds were 5'6" and above.
Yeah, 5'6" and above, and he had to chop them all down. And he actually really loved the experience. He's like, maybe I'm a gardener, and I was like, yeah, I would love that. Do that. You're like, go get some plants, make it look good out here.
He could be. You could just hire him for the day to be a landscaper.
Ugh, I'm not paying him to do
Be
that.
part of a little role play incident.
Okay, yeah, not gonna do it for me.
Can't be a pool boy, so he can be outside Jeffrey.
Actually
Landscaping.
outside. Wait, you have to tell the outside Jeffrey story for our listeners.
Oh God. So when Jeffrey, first of all, we love you, and I did not come up with this, but I did carry on with it. So when Saskia and Jeffrey started dating, they were doing long distance between New York and LA, which is a 5 or 6 hour flight, and we just, I don't know who came up with it in our friendship group, but we were like, where does Jeffrey stay when he's here? And Saskia was like, with me. And we at the time we were like, this is intense, but if you know Saskia, intensity runs in her blood in the best possible
Like 0
way.
to 100
Yeah.
in everything I do.
Best possible way though.
The voice
Very
notes
admirable.
turned into a podcast, so perfect example.
Exhibit podcast. And we were like, does he have a home? Is he? Oh, and we're like, where does he stay in LA? And we just,
And this was like early days. So then I was like, oh my God. And I started to panic because I was like, oh my God, does he not have a home? And was like, and I was like, no. Guys, I've seen his apartment in LA. He's got a place in LA. Like he showed me photos.
And then Saskia started spiraling, and then one of our friends was like, I think he's outside Jeffrey.
Like outside Dave from New Girl. That's where it came from. Do you know that reference?
I did not know.
So there's outside
Oh.
Dave. He's like the homeless guy who lives outside their apartment, and they're always like outside Dave. Yes,
Oh,
that's where it came from.
That's so mean.
So everyone, all the girls would call him outside Jeffrey. Poor Jeffrey. I told him the story, like what it meant. I don't know, a few months into the relationship. He did not find it as funny as I thought.
I
he
didn't
would.
realize that was the reference. That's so mean.
Babe,
Jeffrey, I'm sorry. Jeffrey, I'm sorry.
There's been some you've had some shocking nicknames for people in the past.
Oh, yeah.
Men specifically.
I
Let's be
mean,
real.
yes, that's my avoidant tendencies coming out.
What is one of them? Wasn't it just like,
Mediocre dicking.
oh, I don't remember that one. No, the
Cut
pill
that.
one.
Pill one.
Like contraceptive pill. You had a reference for someone.
God, what was that?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't remember that. God, that's going to drive me nuts. But I used to have references for people that were not, they were just a nickname because I didn't want to call them by their name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you always did that.
They-
I never knew the names of the people that you were seeing when you were single. I just knew their nicknames. I'd be like, okay, I lost track.
I always had to have a nickname. And then when I started dating Joe, people were like, oh, you're actually calling him by his name.
You actually never didn't call him Joe.
No, he never had a nickname.
How funny he didn't. Well, Joe, if you're listening, look at you. Special.
It's so
special.
Inside Joe.
Hey, he could be outside Joe too. You guys were doing long distance. Who knows? His place in France might not have been a real thing.
Oh, yeah. All those times I went. It was just like,
you were just like,
it's just like,
what is it, like a green screen?
oh my God.
You were actually just here?
Honestly, we had this whole bit when we were flying to Australia, that Australia is like not a real place, and that we were just like circling for 15 hours in the air. And so,
When Joe went back to,
Yeah.
to Australia with you?
and the pilot when we landed was like, all right, and welcome to Sydney, Australia. And Joe and I looked at each other like, right, Sydney, Australia. And we're really just like,
Holy shit.
in the boondocks.
That's really
Of
fucking
America.
good.
And at the same time, we looked at each other like,
Australia. You know that there's people that actually think Australia is not a real place though, right?
yes.
It is wild. I don't get it, man.
I mean, I
like,
kind
what
of-
do you say to people who are like, yeah, no, I live there?
They're like, uh-huh. Sure you do.
Today when I was at the markets, I had this like tote bag from a cafe in Bondi that I love called Depot. Shout out, their
nice.
pancakes slap. They're so good. Dude, I'm obsessed with their
Very Gen Z of you.
pancakes. Yeah, I'm really young and cool. What can I say? Lily, just cut that out if that's not cool, please. Thank you.
She can vet all of our slang.
Lily's our Gen Z producer. She keeps us young. God love her.
That was very sultry. I kind of like, anyway.
So I
Tote
was
bag.
wearing the tote bag. And I heard this dad go to his kid. He's like, look, son. I mean, he probably didn't say son. He said whatever the kid's name was. Remember, we went to Bondi Beach. I was like, it took me all my self-restraint to be like, if you've been to Bondi Beach, you think you would know by now that it's called Bondi Beach. Like, what did you do for the however long you were there? Just walk around? Did no one correct you? Like, it's astonishing.
Yes. However, I can understand if you think it is that word and then someone corrects you, but it's so ingrained in you. Only
True.
because I fuck up every word and phrase possible, as we know.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
like, give
that
the
is true.
Bondi guy some grace. The Bondi guy.
The Bondi guy. Like, he was just connecting with his kid. That's why I didn't say anything.
Wait, I can imagine he's just like, come here, son.
Do you remember?
Remember the tales of Bondi? As you were just trying to find Jeffrey and the apples.
Yeah, I'm trying to just get through the line.
But you find farmers markets extremely relaxing. I find them very overstimulating.
Look, when I first started going, I did, but now I have my specific places I go. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm like in and out. I'm in and out in 20 minutes. I know exactly where I'm going. I know exactly what produce I'm getting. I'm like, boom, 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 boom. Have my sellers. I'm like, hey, how are you going?
Okay.
I went
Mare.
to this one.
You
The
kissing
Mare
babies too?
Fort Greene farmers markets. I went to this one stall that I love, and it's run by a lot of French people. And this woman behind me was like, "Oh yeah, I love getting like they do amazing greens." She's like, "I love getting my greens from here." This is so not interesting for people, but anyways, she was like, "They're just kind of rude here, though," and I was like, "They're so nice here. Like I always love them. They're really lovely. Like they're not overly, but they're very lovely."
I can't tell you how uninterested I am in that conversation.
I feel like
I
it just.
can- I have to be honest.
I zoned out. Wait. Circling back to something different. We're actually not circling back. We're pivoting to something different.
Land the plane, baby.
We said we were going to watch the shows. I watched, bringing my notes, Real Monsters, which for our listeners, I did not know what this show was. It's like A-H-H-H exclamation point. Real Monsters. I did not know what you were saying to me all last episode. I had no fucking idea. So I typed this into Google. Dude, this fucking show. Like, I was so mad when I typed it into Google and saw the image because this show gave me nightmares as a kid. It scarred me. I blocked it out of my head, and I always knew there was this weird cartoon when I was a kid that I could never remember, and it scared the fuck out of me. And then when I saw it, I was like, this fucking bitch. Of course she's going to bring back my childhood fucking trauma.
Yeah.
But I watched an episode. For listeners, if you want to see it, all of them are streaming on Paramount Plus. It is insane that all the episodes are on there.
Didn't know that.
I assumed that's where you were watching them.
I have not. No, I don't want to digress. Go ahead.
If you say that you have not watched this show recently,
No, it's
I can't.
unhinged, isn't
I
it?
can't.
It's so unhinged.
so few notes. One, the creature who holds his eyeballs, that's Davo. That's your alter ego, Davo.
He's the best.
He
the
is
best.
Davo. It's crazy. I was like, oh my God, this is Davo. And then the other weird creature that's like with the ears that kind of looks like a bunny.
Oh my gosh.
That's
yeah.
Louise from Bob's Burgers.
You.
I know.
That's you.
I was like, that's me. Because Kat and I always say that from Bob's Burgers, I'm Louise, and she's like Jean.
It's so accurate.
It's so accurate.
So accurate.
She's saved in my phone as Cat Jean Waterman.
And Saskia's Saskia Louise. And just if no one has seen the episode of Bob's Burgers where Louise is on the cruise ship with the family and she gets her, this is a slight digression, where she goes and gets like the very long, like curled acrylic fingernails and toenails, and she's running across
The boat?
the book. It's like clickety, 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 clickety. And every time Saskia is typing with her nails, it's like clickety, 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 clickety.
I'm the loudest typer. People hated me in the office. I also type with 2 fingers. So it's like, and I'm the fastest though. I'm very fast. Anyways, Louise. So I realized in this show, you are the guy holding the eyeballs and I would be the bunny thing. It's also, the episodes are 22 minutes long, which is an insanely long episode for a children's show. It also, I realized, this show, Monsters, Inc. was based on this. Because they're like in an academy. They're like learning how to scare kids.
Yeah.
But it's the unhinged version of Monsters Academy.
It's the sleep paralysis version.
Dude, how high on acid were these people when they wrote this show? Like, it's truly unhinged.
I think majority of producers and writers for 90s, early 2000s children's shows were high as fuck on acid.
Or mushrooms.
Like the show Round
One
the
or the
Twist,
other.
the Australian show, The Lighthouse. Anyway, we're not going to go into that. That's scary.
We have to do an episode on Round the Twist for our American listeners because that show is unhinged. Google Round the Twist, like key moments, and I have to say there's the one episode, and gives you the gist of the show. One of the kids gets pregnant, the boy, from a tree nymph, and he gives birth to a tree baby. Do you remember that?
You know what?
That's where you're starting.
Usually I would be pissed for spoiling something again.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
Come on, lass.
Anyways,
okay,
back
your
to the
takeaway.
show. It's very cat-coded. It makes so much sense why you love this. I give it a 3.5 out of 5 because I think it's actually a smart show. Like the script it's unhinged and chaotic, but I'm like, this is kind of smart. But negative 1.5, it didn't get the full 5 because of the fact it gave me nightmares as a child for way too long. But I tell you what, I finished it and I actually feel like I healed that. I felt like I healed that childhood trauma with this show.
You're welcome,
thank
bitch.
Thank you. So.
Okay, I was not expecting, when you said 3.5, I thought that was going to be out of 10 and I was ready to get defensive. However, 3.5 out of 5 is pretty good.
Pretty good. I know.
Pretty good.
Thank you.
Well, you watched that, and I'm glad you did. I committed to a 45-minute episode of the first episode of the OC.
Woo! California. California. It's a great song. Dude, the soundtrack of the OC is iconic. Okay. I won't be doing that again. Sorry. You're not doing karaoke.
The way that you just like switched into theater mode, fucking theater kid.
Dude, so true. You would have hated me in high school. I was such a theater kid.
I was a theater kid.
What?
We'll
Why
get
didn't
onto
you
that.
join me on that? Okay.
No.
Moving on.
I
Go
wasn't-
into the OC. Episode 1. Oh,
I
great
can
episode.
understand the appeal. And I can understand why everyone was like so horny for everyone at that time. However, I do think this is similar to Gossip Girl, whereas it was like the trending show and it was cool to watch. So everyone was watching. But I will say, if I didn't have anything else to watch, I would continue watching it.
Yes! Dude, I actually think I love Gossip Girl, but I actually think the OC's better. I think there's like more nuance to the characters when you go through the whole season because so much of it goes into like the adults as well. Mm-hmm. And like obviously the actor who plays Sandy Cohen, the father, he's like an incredible actor.
God, he's so attractive.
So attractive. And I don't know, I think just like the vibe of it, it's like, oh God, the first episode, there's like, hints in the first episode to like one of the last one. Oh, it's just a great show. I'm glad that you liked it.
I'm not going to rate it.
Okay.
But my rating is that if I didn't have anything else to watch, I would continue watching it.
I feel that. Dude, I was obsessed with Marissa when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I loved her. She's so iconic. But like,
Watch
in like
me-
an unhinged way, I loved her.
Watch me like get addicted to this, and that's going to be all I can talk about.
Oh my God, I'm so here for it. Someone sent me a voice note yesterday actually talking about the OC, a girlfriend of mine saying she listened to our first episode and it reminded her of stuff that like the nostalgia of things that she liked. She's like, yeah, like the OC. And I was like, oh, wait, baby.
You just wait.
Get ready.
You just wait, because shit's about to get mediocre.
You know, Olivia Wilde is in the OC. In like the second or third season, she's like one of the main characters. Like there was some cool actors in that show.
All right.
Stick with it, babe.
Maybe-
I actually might rewatch it. We could do it at the same time.
I can't commit to that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get through it way faster
Yeah,
than
you
you.
will. Yeah.
I'll be like done in a week.
When I saw a 45-minute episode, I was like, fuck, that is a commitment. And then it finished. I was like, oh,
It's actually not bad.
not so bad. Not
Love
so
that.
bad. See, but I'm glad that you watched Our Real Monsters. The guy holding the two like eyeballs.
Yeah.
Yes, that is Davo and Cat coded.
So much. Like both those shows, as I was sitting here thinking like you had to watch the OC and I had to watch this, I was like, man, these are just so, again, our personality coded.
Yes.
It's crazy.
There are a few people. So my dad, bless, biggest
Shout out,
supporter.
Cat's dad, love you.
And after the second episode came out, and I distinctly remember this, I didn't get any context from my dad, but he just messaged me an AI generated version of Stuart Little's body and my face on it.
It is hysterical. No context.
No context.
Just the photo of Cat's face on Stuart Little.
But like my face, honestly, it's like stretched out to fit the body and like puffy. And I was like, that's what I look like in allergy season. But no context, no. And I just sent a screenshot to Saskia and I go, I guess Dad watched the podcast.
Oh, it killed me. I can't.
And then I was like, that's very funny. He goes, oh, it's so you.
You're so, this again makes a lot of sense. Like you or your dad.
I am.
The same
Yeah.
humor.
My dad is like the funniest person. My twin is. Ooh.
Ooh, what?
So I just knock the mic off. No, my twin is.
That's right. Kat has a twin, which I did not know for like a while when we first met. I feel like you should lead with that.
Because you were like, oh, he's so hot.
Yeah, when I saw a photo. And now I just like to say it just to mess with her.
And I'm like,
He lives in Australia. So sad. So sad.
oh my
So
God,
sad.
shut the fuck up.
Wait, I did have something else I wanted to discuss. So I don't know if you saw that article that The Cut did. It was titled, "It Must Be Nice to Be a West Village Girl." Have you seen anything about this?
No.
There's been like a lot of conversations about it online. Anyways, I read the article. The Cut's interesting. I feel like they can sometimes do, like, you know that they do pieces, I think, to spur conversation.
Correct.
They're good at it. I mean, it always creates like very strong opinions. I'm interested to get your opinion though, because Kat used to live in the West Village. When was it? 2020?
For a hot minute.
Hot minute, yeah. But I think the article goes into kind of what the West Village is like now. I don't spend a lot of time there, so I'm not entirely like aware of the culture of it. But, you know, summarizing the article, it was interviewing a lot of these influencers who've, you know, moved there from out of the city. Some who had grown up in the city and lived there, but it's this, the way they described it is like a homogenization of this like vibe that they're all searching, or they're all like aspiring to be. And it's like everyone wears the same outfits, everyone goes to the same bars, everyone goes to the same Pilates studios. And it was interviewing women who, you know, are obviously a lot of the time getting like the influencer discounts and can go and do this, and just like what that lifestyle actually costs. And then other women that have moved there that are like, they're finding community within that homogenization because everyone's the same. And I think I've been thinking about it because I'm like, it sits weird with me because we don't like to yuck each other people's yum. So I'm like, if you find that and that's your way, to like build community in this city that can be quite lonely at times, you go all for it. But in the same vein, New York is special because you can be different.
Well, not to sound like an asshole, but I do think there's a lot of cookie cutter versions of each other. And that is exactly like everyone has, to your point, a very similar aesthetic, very similar
In West Village. Or everywhere.
everywhere. But actually, how would you describe West Village to people?
I mean, I've always thought of it as very fratty.
Yeah.
It was not historically like that. It was like the artist neighborhood. And then, you know, it was a lot of the gay neighborhood. And there's still a lot of older people that live there that are like known artists and, you know, people that have been in New York forever. It was like a fashion area too in like the 80s and 90s. But I would say when I moved to New York in 2015, I never really went out there because it was always fratty. It was always frat boys.
It was very fratty. I will say my big dicking moment is that I lived across the road from the Sex and the City steps.
Which is fun.
That was fun.
That was mentioned in the
fun.
article too, of just like all these women that flock to the city. They maybe only live here for a few years and they're like trying to like relive their Carrie Bradshaw life. But again, what I found was like contradictory is like Carrie was so like, look at her style. Like she did not wear what everyone else was wearing. It was so, it's just, the article just sat with me. I read it weeks ago and I haven't been able to like let go of it.
Well, I would just say, yes, I think there's a very like cookie cutter approach to styles and general aesthetics.
I mean,
and,
downtown Manhattan probably
Yes.
right now generally.
And even like the same vocal fry.
Oh, really?
They all have like the teeny tiny bags.
Yeah. That
And
was
just,
said
like,
in it.
yeah.
I mean, I love a teeny tiny bag, but yeah, it's the denim jeans, like a little white tee. Ignore the outfit. But there is like, I mean, it was, and then it was interviewing people who've like lived there forever who were saying like, yeah, it's just like a bunch of girls, they're high pitched voices. They just say that. But then other people who've lived in the neighborhood forever were like, let them live their New York life. Like let them do it. Whatever. Like whatever makes people joy.
My thing is that, and this is not necessarily just for West Village, but this is also like particularly for Lower East Side, which is like a different part of downtown Manhattan, which is like a little bit grungier than West Village. I think people in Lower East Side look like they got dressed in the dark.
Hey, I'm about the LES fashion.
But there is the, like, continuing on the theme of this, like a very similar aesthetic. They all look like they walk like a character from Grand Theft Auto.
Wait, what is that?
It's like the very slow, like catwalk.
I've never
style.
played Grand Theft Auto. Is it like dragging the arms?
It's dragging the arms and it's very like sultry, catwalky. They think that the footpath is their catwalk.
Hey, when I lived in downtown Manhattan, I thought the footpath was my
I need
catwalk.
you to look up the Grand Theft Auto walk. And you'll be like, oh shit.
I need to go and like, wait, we should ask we have a friend who works at a cool spot in downtown Manhattan in this area called Dime Square. We should ask him because he said to me like on the weekends, it's definitely a different vibe than like during the weeks, way more local. And it's kind of like what I remember that neighborhood to be like. This is Lower East Side for other people, which is, we're off West Village, which is in Manhattan as well. But yeah, definitely like a grungier version. But I think on weekends, even Lower East Side's kind of becoming like West Village. It's like this whole, I just keep using the word homogenization, but that's what it is.
I just think there's a lot of effort to look effortless.
And exactly, that's what the article is saying is the amount of money that's going into this.
Yeah.
But the thing is, because of how expensive it is to like live here, the people that are moving, yeah, I don't know. You could go down. There's a whole path you could go down here. But it was kind of sad to me just because I love New York for how different it is. But then again, like I went out in the city last night and I still saw like so many cool outfits and like, you know, people just like wearing what they want and being who they want to be. That is why I moved here.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but for me, I wanted to move here because I loved that you could be whoever you want to be. You could wear whatever the fuck you want. It gave me so much freedom to like express myself in ways I've never done.
And that's because you're more like Tigger
What does that mean?
from Winnie the Pooh. Like you're like very excited and like can see the beauty in mix and match outfits and like leaning into that. Whereas I'm like, the Eeyore of the two of us.
Fashion.
And I'm like, hey, the fact that I'm wearing a white cream shirt rather than my usual uniform of black.
Hey, black looks good on you. What can we say?
Yeah. Look, that's why everyone thinks I'm a waitress all the time when I go out. And I was like, I used to be. And I was like, yes, and I probably could clear your plates very well. This is a common theme.
I'm dead.
Common. And
How often are you getting mistaken for a waiter?
Well, not so much anymore now that I wear white and sometimes red.
To be fair, waiters in New York usually, I mean, well, at least we're, other than Bluestone Lane, that Aussie cafe we spoke about where we had to wear the fucking denim aprons. The other places I worked at, you could just wear your own clothes. So
really?
sometimes it is hard even to distinguish a waiter.
Oh, God, we're
about
going
it.
to be out for dinner one night and you're just going to turn around and I'm just clearing plates and be like, backs, behind,
Back,
corners.
corners. Oh my God.
And I'm just stacked with plates.
Yes. Dude, sometimes I do like carry things where it's like, you know, you go to those cafes and you have to like put the plates back and I like carry everything and I feel like I'm like a server again. Like I've got like the 3 cups in one hand.
That's, oh my God.
Hey babe, those skills stick with you for life.
Yeah, I know. And I very quickly revert back into like waitress mode. I kind of miss those days.
It was fun to like, you got on a high in those shifts because you were just like, these are the cafes that we both, Kat and I, worked at in New York were very busy and you would just be like going. And then I liked by the end of the day when you finished, you were fucking done with work.
That's exactly it. You did not have to
nice.
think.
Yeah. You're like, I'm going home and I have absolutely nothing else to do.
I will never forget one of the cafes I worked at when I moved here, and there was a blizzard that shut the city down. Mind you, I was earning $7.50 an hour at 24, and that was how much I was earning when I was 11 or 12 being a paper girl in Australia.
So fucked. The minimum wage, was $7.50 an hour. It still is, and a lot of places still pay it, even though they upped it to 14, I think.
But they shut the city down. But I was on shift, and like 3 of us ended up going. And then the subway.
I was there for that one.
Yeah.
Because it was the 2015 blizzard. It was one of the worst blizzards they'd had in like 50 years.
But then the subway cost us what? $2+ at that point.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And then we got there and then we had to close the cafe like 2 hours later.
Because we were so understaffed. Because the subways to Brooklyn were shut down. So the only reason we got in is because we lived in the city.
So no, I was in Brooklyn. I could get there, but then by the time we were leaving, they had shut.
Oh,
and so then I walked.
I remember people were walking in with skis because they'd been skiing in Central Park.
Oh my God.
On the park. And everyone was such assholes to us because they were having to wait really long. We're like, you're walking in with skis, my friend.
They're just sliding
in.
Shuffling.
It was wild. Like,
I forgot that image of them literally. They didn't even take the skis off.
no, yeah. We became a ski lodge for one day. My mom like wrote a comment on their Instagram.
Meredith.
They posted something like about, the blizzard and everyone working really hard. And she was like, props to the strong staff who are out there working in these hard conditions. Like,
yes, Meredith.
it was so good. Because I told her, I was like, everyone was so mean to us. I mean, not like it was the people coming in. It was crazy.
The work ethic that we had at 24, like no way in fucking hell would I ever travel an hour commute, earning $7.50 an hour, to have to then pay $2.90 for the subway, only for the subway to be shut down and for me to walk an hour plus back.
I didn't even think about
blizzard.
the fact that it's like the cost of the subway with like when you think about our hourly.
You pretty much, yeah.
Oh, God. Shout out to people who are working in the service industry because it's fucking hard. And I'm so thankful. Well, not thankful, but like, glad that we did it because you and I both worked in cafes from like the age of 14. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it was a solid 15 years nearly. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
It was longer for me because I worked in the restaurant scene in New York for like 3 years.
Oh, that's right.
Crazy times.
Sometimes I just want to do one day.
Oh,
one
same.
day a week. And
I've
just
thought about it. Like, what is it called? A rock star shift? And you just
is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Why is it called
You go back in for the day. It's actually a thing.
I don't think that we should be called the rock stars when we're just like cosplaying for a few hours.
Well, the idea is you go back to the place you used to work at, and it's the rock star shift.
Do you think that you could be a bartender?
No.
No, I'm too deaf.
Yeah, it's too loud. I don't want to stay up late. Fuck that. That's why I always liked cafes. I worked at a restaurant where we closed, I think, at 11, and I struggled with that. It was like the end of the night, and they were like, "Want a glass of wine?" I was like, "Absolutely no. I'm going to sleep." I was so tired by the end. Every night I'd be like polishing the cutlery, just like falling asleep.
Oh my God. You would think that with my like nocturnal habits that I would prefer.
Yeah, you'd
evening
thrive.
shift. No, but I want that time to myself.
The thing is, I think you would have been a great bartender because would be such an asshole. You would have been. It would have been hysterical. Hysterical. What? I don't know. Send help. Send help.
It's not even 11 p.m. yet.
So
It's 11 a.m.
I did have another thing that maybe we could wrap things up on. And I'd love to get your advice on this.
Oh.
I think I need to have a discussion with my Alexa. Babe, yesterday, I'm like asking her, asking her like the temperature or something. And she goes, "Would you like some suggestions of cool things to do in your neighborhood?" I don't say yes. She goes, "I'm more than happy to send you a list of ice cream shops to go to in your neighborhood." And I was like, what does Alexa say about me? That her suggestion for cool things to do in my neighborhood is to send me a list of ice cream shops. One, I don't eat dairy. Two, I do way better things than that. She listens to me all the time. That's what she's picked up on.
So, okay, I hear you.
I'm concerned.
I don't think that we should be taking this personally.
I took it as an affront.
Because
I need to be cooler at my house.
I think Alexa probably just realized that actually yesterday was quite a nice day.
Yesterday? It was raining. It was pouring rain.
No, that was the day before.
No, it was nice for like 2 hours.
Oh.
Maybe it was the 2 hours that we were chatting.
Yeah.
Yeah. She heard the weather. She's like, "It's hot out today. Maybe I should recommend some ice cream."
I think that you should get ChatGPT to write her a letter and read it to her. Two AIs are
coming together.
Oh my God. I don't know if that's a good idea.
I don't know. It would be interesting. I mean, I think what I'm going to start doing is when I'm home, I'm just going to start talking about stuff I like even more into the Alexa, hoping that the suggestions will be better.
I don't trust one of those devices in my home because I talk so much shit and every other word is just me like cursing out loud.
You get like they'd like somehow find something on your Alexa.
Completely.
It would happen to you.
And
like yours gets hacked or something.
And it's like, it wouldn't even be true, but like I'd have, I'd be like, how did this happen?
Look, I gotta say, I was not happy with it.
All right. Well, you let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah. And maybe, or maybe not, we will discuss this next week.
Yeah.
We'll
dive in more.
Okay.
We'll dive in further.
Thanks for sticking with us, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Speak to you soon. Bye.